Hello, all you beautiful, sensitive Cancerians. I have your July forecast right here, and I can't wait to share it with you, which I will do in a second. Just want to make a couple of announcements. First of all, those of you who have taken advantage of my offer of a free copy of your birth chart have asked me, well, now, how do I interpret this? It's a cheap plug for my book. Now that I've cast it, what do I do with it? I wrote this so that you could tap into the astrologer within you and interpret any chart that you look at. I highly recommend it. You can get it on Amazon. After I give you your forecast for your sun sign, I would suggest that you check out my summer eclipse special, because this is a huge month for us. We have 2 eclipses and Mercury is retrograde. Many of you already knew that, and many of you have already ordered the special so that you can stay on top of things. This special goes from July till the end of the year. It's only available in July, so you want to get it this month. I cover 4 eclipses, one of which is in January of 2020, 2 Mercury retrogrades, and 6 full moons. I'm including the full moons, as well as the usual suspects, the major transits. I like to call them the usual suspects. I suggest that you get it so that you will be clear on when to zig and when to zag, particularly with Mercury retrograde right now. And those of you who are attending my full moon ceremony, which will be on the 16th at the Phoenix and Dragon, I look forward to seeing you there. It's free of charge. Those of you who live around the world, we start at 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. Just convert your time to 7 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time and join us 7 p.m. We take an hour and it can be life transforming. Okay, so let's talk about you and this fabulous chart that you've got for July. Since I've mentioned the retrograde Mercury, I'm going to start with that. For those of you who may not be familiar with the retrograde Mercury, Mercury rules communication, correspondence, and transportation, our mouth and our minds. When it goes retrograde, it appears to be moving backwards in the heavens. It's not, but it feels that way. And everything here on planet Earth is confused. You do not begin any new projects on a retrograde Mercury because they either fizzle out completely or have to be redone within the year. If you have not yet watched my video, my YouTube video, Mercury retrograde, the prequel and the sequel, you'll want to do that because it explains the shadow of the retrograde, which occurs 2 weeks approximately before Mercury goes retrograde, and approximately 2 weeks after it comes out of retrograde when it goes direct. What you're going to do on the retrograde Mercury is tie up the loose ends of unfinished projects. And after Mercury goes direct, you start new ones. So let's talk about Mercury in your solar chart. Well, it goes retrograde in your 2nd house of money and values. And so what is important to you, what you value, what your tangible assets are, may undergo a rethinking, a shaking up, as it were. On the 18th, Mercury backs up into your 1st house, which is the most personal house in the chart. And you're saying, I got to figure out who I am. And yes, you do. And you should. And so this is where you, the time that you put your energy on you, your appearance, your approach, your personality, who you are, and who you want to be. So this is a very important area, money and you personally. This can also help any health issue that may have been lingering, because when it goes direct, you'll find the solution. I shouldn't say you will. I have. Okay? Now, let's talk about the eclipses, because they are really important. We feel the effects of an eclipse at least a week before it occurs, and until the next pair come along, which are usually about 5-6 months later, but they're at their peak 3 to 4 months after they occur. The first eclipse is July 2nd. It's a solar eclipse. That's a time of new beginnings. It's in your first house of you. And I'll tell you what I would do with a first house eclipse. I would do what I want, when I want, how I want, because I can. So do your thing. The second eclipse, and it's on July 2nd, and it is in 10 degrees of Cancer. So you're going to want to see where that falls in your chart, particularly in connection with the sun, your sun in Cancer. Because if you have an eclipse on your sun, it's a new life for you. Okay, July 16th is the full moon, the lunar eclipse. It's in your seventh house of relationships, and it's in 24 of Capricorn. You'll want to find out where that is. That's why you want a copy of your birth chart. Okay, this is the area of relationships, and relationships can come to a head. Is that a bad thing? No. In other words, if you have not been making the progress that you'd like in your relationships, whether personal or business, this particular eclipse can help them along. After Mercury, of course, goes direct. And I'm going to get into the rest of the help that you get while all this is going on. The first thing I want to say is we have a new moon on July 31st. This is the day that Mercury goes direct, July 31st to August 1st. It is truly a time of new beginnings. It sits in your second house of money, so there we are with the money. And speaking of that, you can see all this activity in your second house. So let's just start. Mercury, as I said, starts in your money house and finishes up in the area of you, your body, your appearance, the most personal house in the chart. Venus, the planet of beauty and love, so lovely, it's the pink planet, starts in your 12th house, and so your love life might have been non-existent or private during the month of June. On the 3rd, Venus crosses your solar ascendant, it moves into your first house, and you fall in love with you. You beautify you. You heal and appreciate you. And so that would be a time to do those things, right? Then on the 27th, it moves into your second house of money. And this can bring more money, more assets, and more things that you value. It is beautiful. It's just wonderful. The sun, the center of our life, sits in your first house. It has been there. And you've been saying, it's my turn to do what I want, when I want, how I want, because I want. And that is true. And the eclipse on the 2nd encourages that. On the 22nd, the sun moves into your second house of money, and the sun is the giver of life, and wherever it is, it creates activity and it brings money. So you've got money emphasized. And the final planet, Mars, the red planet. Mars is what we throw ourselves into. It's what comes first to us. I love it. Okay, it's in your second house of money. If you will focus on money, you will create money. Whatever you put your attention on grows. Whatever you throw yourself into grows. I just think this is awesome. And after Mercury goes direct, which it will, between July 31st and August 1st, it will then, of course, move back into your second house and pick up where you left off, or it left off, in the area of finances. What a great forecast. Love it. So, till next month, when we're back, and I talk to you about your forecast, may the stars shine brightly on you and yours. Bye for now.